Thank you very much, Tasmania, and thank you, Mark. And I was asking for those of you who are familiar with Premiership football, I was asking the robot what was the solution to Manchester United's problems. And she said she didn't understand, either do I. But anyway, those of you who follow football will know the significance. But anyway, I've been dealing with Scottish-Irish relationships for the best part of 40 years, 26 years ago now, since after devolution, 97, when we opened our consular office here, and all over the years in different positions and ministerial positions, and when I was Prime Minister, and since then trying to develop those relationships. And we have thankfully really good relationships with our Scottish friends. So it's great to be at the Scottish Forum. It's great to be part of the Institute of Cultural Diplomacy. What we've been trying to do, just to not go back over all the years, but over the last number of years, first of all, Simon Coveney, who was our Foreign Minister, and the Cabinet Secretary here, Michael Russell, we published the Ireland-Scotland Bilateral Review report, and that took place following very wide consultation by the two governments and substantial public engagement. And the report set out a series of actions to be taken in areas of the business, economy, community, the diaspora, culture, academia, research links, and rural and coastal island communities, as well as government and political relations, because we've had long and historic ties with Scotland. At the heart of that report is a shared understanding of the importance of securing the closest possible relationship between Scotland and Ireland, as well as between the United Kingdom and Ireland for the years ahead of us. And with over 40 recommendations across 5 thematic areas, the report, I hope, will guide the collaboration over the 5 years ahead, and exploring how to increase participation and inclusivity in sport, where we've always had great connections, and great connections through rugby mainly, and through some other sports as well. Following the election in the UK in 2024, Simon Harris, our then Taoiseach, and Prime Minister Keir Starmer met in Dublin this time last year, and they agreed an ambitious reset of the UK-Ireland relationship with the first of a new series of annual leader-level UK-Ireland summits to take place each year in springtime. Very much Keir Starmer emphasised the importance of Scotland in that, and very much the programme that we were all engaged in. At the first summit that was held in Liverpool earlier on this year, back in March, our now Taoiseach and Prime Minister Starmer agreed a wide-ranging programme and new and enhanced strategic cooperation between Ireland and the UK, entitled UK-Ireland 2030, to be taken forward by both governments through to the end of the decade. And it represents a starting point for a renewed and strengthening relationship between the UK and Ireland, underpinned by a shared desire for more reconciled, peaceful and prosperous Northern Ireland. And it sets out an ambitious programme of cooperation agreed by the governments. And that's focused very much on delivering for citizens across the islands now and in the future. And the summit was an important opportunity to reaffirm both governments' commitments as co-guarantors of the Good Friday Agreement. A huge amount of the engagement is around Scotland, and because of our tourism, because of our coasts, because of so many the industries that are special to us, and those long relationships where Irish people came to work, particularly people from Northern Ireland and the counties in the northern part of Ireland came here to work down through history, mainly in farms and fishings and other areas. The summit statement includes cooperation on infrastructure delivery, measures to support the vitally important trade and investment links between us, and that, taken in the overall context, is 100 billion, which is not insignificant. The government also agreed a focus on energy and maritime cooperation, on research and innovation, on culture, youth, sporting partnerships to foster ties between our people. So I think you can see in those broad-ranging areas there is a huge amount of contact and diplomacy between Ireland and Scotland. They include a new Ireland Youth Forum in developing strategic partnership between our leading cultural institutions. We every year hold a cultural day where all the cultural institutes in the country open up to the public free, where people, they go late night openings, 10, 11, midnight, where everything is centred around cultural institutions, from library to galleries, and it brings a huge interest not only in Irish culture but also in our near neighbours, and particularly Scotland. What we were talking about yesterday, in a challenging geopolitical and international security environment, the governments have agreed to deepen cooperation on other matters as well, and I think a lot of those issues, strengthening international institutions for peace, promoting conflict resolution, peace building, sustainable development, and all of these issues fit in very much into what Mark and his colleagues have been doing for years, of trying to back in cultural diplomacy into both business and into government policy. As I said, I opened the Consulate General's office here of Ireland in Edinburgh back in 1999, and that has certainly strengthened our bilateral relationship with Scotland over the last quarter of a century. And the Scottish Government Office was opened in Dublin over a decade ago. So coupled with this, the government plans for establishing the first Ireland House. There's a few different ones on between the UK and Ireland, and I think that will help the relationship even more. Trade, just to finish and not take too much time, but trade between Ireland and Scotland continues to grow. Irish companies see Scotland as a very important market in which to continue to expand their operations. Our electricity main energy supply company have invested 600 million into Scottish renewable projects to date, of offices in Glasgow and here in Edinburgh. Scottish investments in Ireland are equally important to our economy, with Scottish-owned SSE Electricity, the largest provider of renewable energy in the Irish market. And Scotland has a very strong interest in strengthening cooperation with us in the renewable energy sector, in particular on offshore renewables and green hydrogen production. So the decision of Enterprise Ireland, which is our enterprise board, have opened an office in Glasgow to support our exporters to the renewable sector. And that underlines, I think, the importance of role that Scotland play in the efforts to deliver on the green transition, which I know is very important here. And this complements the presence of Tourism Ireland, who've also an office in Glasgow for the last 20 years, and more tourism are working. I noticed in the hotel this morning, CIE Tours had the bus outside, which is our transport company. And I saw the golfers out. They had to be Irish in the rain at 7:30. Nobody would be that mad to do it other than the Irish. But a 5-year peatlands restoration, which is hugely important to us. It's a programme from 2023 to 2028. It's been supported by 10 million from the Shared Ireland Fund and from the National Parks and Wildlife Service, in collaboration with funding from conservation agencies in Northern Ireland and Scotland's Nature Scot. So it is amazing. And I think, Mark, you will take great heart in this, but it's amazing when you talk about cultural diplomacy and you look at the range of areas, from what is the arts and the crafts to peat bogs to renewable energy. So in so many areas, contacts can be made. And for us, I think this is hugely important in Ireland. And a lot of the work that we've done over recent years. And I just want to mention as well, because I know we had some colleagues here yesterday, the British Irish Council, which a number of our people here have attended meetings and have been active in. That's the intergovernmental institution with 8 member administrations. It's the Government of Ireland, the UK, Northern Ireland Executive, Scottish Government, Welsh Government, Isle of Man Government, the Government of Guernsey, Government of Jersey. And those meetings now are held. They've very good agendas looking at more and more cooperation. These things, because of our troubles in Ireland back over the years, these things would have been unheard of. That you had engagement and people working together without any difficulties or problems across areas. So I want to thank the people here who work and serve on those and who have served on them. We were talking to some of them yesterday. So just in conclusion, Tasmania, I think the new Ireland-Scotland bilateral cooperation framework for the next round is being finalised at the moment. This will cover from January until 2030. It'll be launched next month here in Edinburgh, I think, and it certainly will be launched in October. And the 6 broad pillars for cooperation are the government-to-government relationships, the devolved government, and business economic links, climate, energy, sustainability, education, research and innovation. No doubt our nibs here will be trying to play a role in all of that. Communities and diaspora engagement, and that review will be looked at annually so that it's go up to date. So I think I can really report to this conference that through cultural diplomacy, through real constructive government-to-government links and working with the devolved government and so many excellent officials, progress has been really thriving on during this decade, and I've no doubt with the next programme in January it will too. So thank you very much.